Hello, and welcome to another death-defying, high-flying, dirty deeds done dirt cheap while Dr. Donald dabbles in driving dreamy drones over Death Valley, dying to capture dummies doing stunt doubling, all while dragging his double chin over draperies. Uncle Gary got a new drone that he does dapper decommissioned delicacies with, all while selling donuts for $1 from his deep freezer episode of the Days Grimm. My name is Brian Michael Day.
My name is Thomas Grimm.
I'm a little loud. We're going to turn it down a little bit. What's up, dude?
Not much, man.
Guess what's on the desk?
The book by Frank Bill. He's coming in here in a few weeks.
I think it's like the
Times bestseller.
This is like the third week in a row that we've plugged this dude's new book that's not dropped yet, or no, it has dropped, I think. May 7th, I believe. So whenever this drops, this book's probably out by then. Look him up, man. I don't know if there's going to be an audio version. That's going to be one of my questions during the interview that we're going to have.
Also,
when he comes on the show in like
you
3
could probably
weeks.
Still send in questions if you want us to ask him.
That's not a bad idea, man. So Frank Bill is a New York Times bestseller. He's from Corden, Indiana, a bit to the east of us, guys, for the local listener. Dude is interesting as hell and just a really good writer. He's done several books. He wrote a book with, if you're familiar with The Walking Dead, Norman Reedus, who plays Daryl on The Walking Dead. They wrote a book together called The Ravaged. So really fucking cool dude, man. And he loves our stuff. And we love his stuff. I've read your book, Frank, and it's sick, dude. So I'm really pumped to meet you in a few weeks, man. So there's that. So look forward to that in the next few weeks coming up on the Days Grimm. If you have questions, get them in this week. And we'll bring them up live on, or, live as we can be during the episode. But I really look forward to meeting him, dude. I'm so fucking like...
I know. A bunch of are going to drop that episode.
Fuck. Oh, God damn.
So joining us this week in the Days Grimm studio is Bailey Benke. How are you, man?
Bailey. Hey, not too bad, man. How about yourself?
Good. How are you? You're doing good, sir?
Yeah.
Golly, man.
Can't complain. Nobody will listen.
Yeah, they don't care, I find.
No.
I often try to not complain. I feel like the incense is also a little strong today. It's a little wafty. But I'm going to sip on this bourbon real quick. But before I do that, Bailey Benke, in 60 seconds.
Well, it doesn't have to be 60 seconds.
In 35 seconds. In 12 seconds. All right, hold on. Do we have a stopwatch somewhere? No. A brief summation. Who is Bailey Benke to the viewer and the listener?
That's a great question. I mean, I know we definitely just talked about that, and I was thinking about it. Now then you asked me, and it's like a brand new question.
It's a different ball game when we're not shooting blanks
still
anymore.
Pressure, yeah. No, I like to do audio. I like to fly drones. Anything science, anything futuristic tech is definitely up my alley. Yep.
That's what's up. Are you an Evansvillian?
Yes, I am.
You are?
I currently got displaced to Henderson. I got sent across the bridge.
Gross.
Yeah, we got given a house, so I really couldn't complain.
Oh, you got given a house? So you have a rich
Not
friend?
Quite.
Dad, uncle, sister?
Her grandma died.
Oh.
That's a lot more depressing than where I was going. So my condolences, all jokes aside.
But you were a Westsider.
Yeah. I say it was a West Side's the best side. Spent my whole life over there.
What do you think is the... Hold on real quick. I got to go ahead and pop this cherry.
God bless you.
Thank you, sir. What do you think is the fucking deal with Westsiders? Because I am one and have been one my whole life.
I don't know.
I'll fucking stab somebody if they talk shit about the West Side. I don't understand.
I was gonna say I don't know how that question was getting ready to go. I was over here like
it's genetically in my blood to like. You're from the North Side? Gross. Get the fuck away from me.
What the fuck are you doing over here?
What is that, dude? It's like in our fucking blood.
I don't know. I think whenever you're born, like I think that's just kind of a like they go the West Side, and it's like if you don't, then they send you across the East Side.
I was 6 years old when I had my first Busch Light. I mean, I don't know. It's just like something.
They
probably
that long.
Yeah, I know. I was
normally that's like you said, you come out and they chant West Side, all the way to the
and then they
Shriners.
beer bong. Yeah,
shotgun a Busch Light in the fucking hospital,
and they take the foam and they put a cross on your forehead.
Dude, if you're not Catholic, eat Grippos, ski, and fucking Busch Light, you're not welcome over
Yeah,
here,
no,
dude.
get the fuck out.
So, welcome back to your previous home, because
Appreciate
we
it.
record out here on the west side for everybody that doesn't know, out here by the Catholics, Trump fans. But so I'm glad to hear that you're doing good. I'm also more glad to hear that you're originally a Westsider. That's great. Now, follow-up question. Are you familiar with the show whatsoever? Have you watched any episodes?
No, unfortunately not.
Perfect. I prefer it that way because shit gets weird. And this one's right up our alley. This is a good one. Did you peep it before I
clicked the tab on accident and I read the headline, but I'm looking forward to it.
This is right up our alley. So we do a little treat called the Death of the Week every week. And I don't know that there's a good way to put it.
It's a Darwin Award most of the time. It's a strange way somebody's died, whether it be anything, really. We've covered it all. Anaconda.
Last week, a guy got fucked by a zebra.
To death.
Nice.
Zebra
That's
gets bleeped.
So
Just
it gets
another
switched
prime
twice
zebra.
there.
Yeah, zebra, leave it, let it ride.
just zebra.
Yeah,
You got to kind of wonder what happened with the zebra.
And eventually we're going to get a Patreon up and running, and then they can hear all these terrible things that we say, uncensored. So one day, very soon, guys, we're working on it, I promise. But
One day we'll be able to tell you about zebra.
until it's so much better when the guest says it too. Until then, you'll just have to be left wondering. So in the meanwhile, while you're wondering, we're going to go ahead and ride on into, see what I did there?
Yeah.
Zebra. Right on into this week's Death of the Week, brought to you by thedaysgrimm.com. Go there, get some super sick merch. We got the mugs, dude. We got the fucking beanies. We got the ball cap. We got the t-shirts, front logo, back logo, fucking embroideries, dude. We got all kinds of crazy shit. Get in there, get you something nice for like $20. Help us rep the show. Also, corn dog development with the super sick coasters. Promo code Days Grimm saves you 10%. I'm going to go ahead and start reading this Death of the Week because, guys, you got to hear this shit. This week's Death of the Week.
Nice.
Family killed by recreational aerial photography drone. Now, this lack of financial entry barrier, in reference to the drones now that they're cheaper, has caused a rush of uneducated consumers as well as hobbyists to buy these miniature whirly birds and take to resorts the world over. Such websites as Kickstarter have had multiple successful campaigns for these consumer drones. I don't know why there's a picture of this guy.
I don't even know what the fuck's on that guy's head.
Yeah, where do you...
9 GoPros and a pogo stick. Before this craze hit, the biggest fear on the slopes was getting eaten by a tundra Wookiee. And the user with the camera on a stick who was paying more attention to getting their elegant selfie than they were about where they were going. Now, that has all changed after the first non-combat aerial drone crash. And here's the direct report. Bahia, Nevada, Chile, a unmanned aircraft being tested by an unnamed U.S. resident crashed June 11 at approximately 12:11 Eastern Standard Time near the middle of the peak of El Promo, approximately 15,000 feet above sea level. One family of 4 was immediately killed upon impact, resort officials say. A Navy FA-18 aircraft made visual confirmation of the crash. So, resort, don't really care about the end of that, but the best part is, while reports are scarce, they were lucky. The writer was lucky enough to have an affiliate on the ground. He described the scene as, quote, gruesome and, quote, something out of a Michael Bay movie. A local man who wished to remain anonymous fears that one of these could collide into his shack. He was also quoted saying, "It was crazy. The family was skiing along perfectly fine. Suddenly, this small quad-rotor helicopter started dive bombing out of the sky. It was playing the Cry of the Valkyries as it descended at a rate of speed, or at a high rate of speed, and then it just impacted. I've never seen anything like it."
I wonder what kind of drone this was.
I know, like
To take out a fucking family of 4, dude.
that's what I'm thinking.
And it has in the
what
picture
the
is a Phantom 4 or 3.
Right, that's
and
what I'm
that's
like.
not gonna take out a family of 4. It has to be something that like they mount like DSLR cameras on or something.
yeah,
you
some
know?
kind
It's
of
gotta
massive.
I
'Cause
do.
They make some pretty large drones for photography. I mean, stuff that hell, you can get one that
They're
can
pretty
lift you now.
large. Yeah, they're pretty large.
Well, yeah, they have ones that are huge that can fit a full-size camera on it and fly around with it.
I've seen
We
them.
had one like that. It was a
They're
hexacopter. that,
It's fucking intense, dude.
Yeah. well, I mean that does bring up a good point as far as there's still something that isn't really that super safe that they're just like the consumer market is just kind of like everybody needs one.
Right, and
And it's-
everybody loves to play around with
Yeah.
drones. I mean, even when we were kids, they had the little drones you could fly in the house that like had no.
and you just
form of
think, oh, it's a plastic
stabilization.
blade. I mean, how bad? It's not gonna hurt, right?
Oh no, when it's rotating at 1,000 revolutions
Not
per
even,
second.
not even that.
Yeah.
If the rotor's cut out at a mile up, that bitch is falling.
Yeah, well, I mean, even there was, I don't remember who the artist was, but there was a concert that somebody was flying a drone doing photography, and he reached out to grab it to like turn it around or something, and stuck his hands in the props, and it essentially it didn't cut anything off, but it definitely was bleeding. And I mean, it's one of those things. Like I said, you don't think about it. It's a plastic blade. How bad can it be?
Fucking bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Dude, funny story, man. I was reading a death of the week to remember I mentioned that Reiki earlier?
Yeah.
She was on the show just a few weeks ago, actually. She's a really great gal. Shout out to Jody Murtha. I'm getting her name right now.
Yeah.
I got her name wrong at the very end of the show. It was really great. I said Murther. I'm very slow. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, so we were reading the death of the week, man. It was just a funny little tidbit. I read the story or whatever, and then we start talking about penis stuff because the guy died from Viagra. Well, she had a story about a guy who stuck his in a fucking Mountain Dew bottle, and he lived, but his dick died. So it was kind of like a death of the week for his penis.
right. And I mean,
Pretty wild, man. There's
you
some
really
crazy
live
shit
past
happening in
that.
this world. You know what I mean?
But I do think like there are people that buy these bigger drones that haven't practiced with them.
yeah,
It's just like not
because you can.
How big did they get?
Well, I mean,
big.
What's the
our
biggest-
largest? Like I said, it was a hexacopter, so 6 propellers, and it was.
I'm glad you drew that
about-
out for me because I'm I'm slow.
Yeah, no problem. I had to think about it. I really didn't want to say it because I didn't want to be wrong. But yeah, I was like,
It's
but yeah. I mean, it was about yay wide.
with somewhere between 5 and 8 rotors. That's intense.
so I
what do you
mean,
think
it
it
was-
weighs?
Oh, dude, I mean,
100
it was
pounds?
20. No, it was like 25 or so. I
Did
mean,
they make them that weigh 100 pounds?
probably yeah. I mean,
I'm
like I said,
sure.
you can get ones like you can buy one that you can ride on.
Because they make fucking Ronins that are the size of a fucking automobile, and those bitches weigh 1,000 pounds.
Yeah.
And so I just wonder, like, camera equipment's, they're going next level with this shit, dude.
Yeah.
It's getting wild.
But
So-
also when you have certain there's some sort of certificate that you can get to basically
Part 107.
right that allows you one to
What did
fly
you
in
say
the-
it was?
a
It's,
part
like-
107.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
But it allows you to like fly in bigger cities or like in certain areas. It just basically says I know how to read the weather for aerial.
Yeah, because there's all kinds. Like you have to check the weather. Like you have to decipher. It's not like going on your phone and going to Google and going, oh, it's gonna be 58 tomorrow. It's like wind direction and barometric pressure.
Maybe
and,
somebody in St. Louis could take that fucking class because I'm a little sour about fucking the state of Missouri. I got to bring this up. I'm glad that this got brought up. Fucking weather, folks. Aerial fucking weather. I was supposed to skydive this weekend. Oh, yeah. I was fucking nervous and jacked. I've never done it. I was hard and flaccid at the same time. It was a mixed emotion type situation. I'm driving. I've already driven 2 hours at this point. I'm 30 minutes from the strip, from the takeoff strip and the landing zone. We get 30 minutes out and we get a fucking phone call. Hey, it's a little cloudy. We're not jumping today. I was like, dude, I just drove fucking 3 hours for you to tell me to eat my own ass.
clouds. Like what?
Fuck you. I was so mad, dude. So I'm jumping on the 27th now.
Maybe.
And yeah, if May 27th. So hopefully all the spring showers are gone by then. But anyways, I say that to say this. How do you know so much about drones?
Honestly, so it was never something that I thought like I just thought they were cool. It was one of those things that was like, yeah, like, you know, going up and down and flying it around and like crashing into shit. Like it's just kind of,
Yeah.
it was cool. And then my best friend in high school, which also my best friend now, I mean, just at the time, actually built the one that I was talking about, the hexacopter, for a like state science fair project. And
He built it
yeah,
from scratch.
yes.
Is his name Elon Musk?
No, but he is like Elon Musk Jr.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
How do you just build a fucking 20 pound fucking flying machine?
This dude was probably building computers before he got out of elementary school.
Is his last name Wright?
No.
He's
but,
not a Wright brother?
No, but
What the
he, I
fuck,
think,
dude?
and it's one of those. He works for the government, so it's one of those. If I tell you, I have to kill you, kind of things. But like he does that kind of stuff for the government.
Does he work for the one here in town?
No.
BXTXWEXYXX? Do you know what I'm talking
I
about?
don't know what you're talking about.
What's the name of that company? Do you know what I'm talking about in Posey County? BWTX or something like that? BXWT?
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a government place where they do secret shit. That's nice though. That's so he builds this in high school and you see him build it.
It's essentially, he was like, "Hey man, you want to help me out with this?" Just because, I mean, it wasn't. I mean, it was definitely something that he could accomplish by himself, but it was I just happened to be there, and it was, like I said, had an interest in it. And I don't know, needed help like soldering something or something like that. Like I had all the practical skills, but he definitely had the knowledge and everything,
The
like that.
wherewithal, yeah.
So it was kind of just because, I mean, like I said, he had the skill, but I had a little more experience
He
and
was
all
the
that kind
Steve
of stuff.
Jobs, and you were the Wozniak.
Exactly, except I didn't like steal
Was
all his.
Wozniak?
Or he didn't steal all my
Was
shit.
the Wozniak dude a person?
I'm pretty
Man?
sure Wozniak was a.
Sounds kind of. But anyways, man, that's fucking interesting. So you start dabbling in the drones. Let's start even earlier than that. Where do you go to high school at? So early in your childhood, what's your childhood like? Did you grow up here on the west side?
Is this like secret therapy?
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me on the doll, where did the priest touch you? No, I'm joking. That's a joke.
You grew up on the west side, but like, when do you think you were first exposed to like audio stuff? Because I would assume that's
Audio was more of middle school, doing like in the theater kind of stuff, and it was more of a just kind of looking for an extracurricular. Obviously, I wasn't a huge sports guy, so I thought building shit and doing audio and stuff like that was kind of cool, and so started doing that for theater. And there was also nobody else that wanted to do it, so how convenient.
And then when you carried over to high school, you continued on the
yeah, that was a
theater.
whole different. Like I thought I knew everything coming out of middle school. Going, oh, I know everything about theater.
Like every kid going into
yeah.
puberty.
And then we started doing theater through Wrights High School, and which is a whole nother level. Like we were doing college level productions,
You're building props and
like
setting-
building full. Like one of my proudest moments of that is building the inside of a two-story mansion. We did Clue as a play.
Fuck, I love that story.
Yeah.
They're remaking it,
Really?
the movie.
And why?
and
And
the
the
guy-
something original.
The guy from, well, I'll tell you why, and I'm going to say this, and you're going to be like, okay, it makes sense. The guy from, what's his name? God damn it. From the Deadpool movies.
Ryan Reynolds.
He's going to be one of the main characters.
Fuck.
So you're going to want to watch it.
I mean, Ryan Reynolds could literally just like walk around in a room and just go, "Hey guys," and I'd be like, "All right, whatever, we'll watch it. We'll see how it goes."
Is he the new Matthew McConaughey?
I don't even know that. I think it's more than that. I mean, I would never really. I don't know. I don't want to say I cared for Matthew McConaughey, but like,
You'd be
I don't
the
know.
only one. Because like
I mean, I like
The
him. I'm not,
world
don't get me
was
wrong.
obsessed
I'm
with
not
him.
like, oh my god, like Matthew McConaughey. Oh, like
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I think those were oral sex noises.
But no, like audio wise, like what does that all entail for like setting up for like school plays? Just like multiple lines? Or are you running like wireless mics or just stage mic or?
It depends on the show. Luckily, and kind of how it progressed past there, but my tech director owned an audio company. So a lot of the times we'd do shows and we would get, a few extra things than what the typical high school would get, because it's about who you know, not what you know.
Exactly, dude.
And so we did have a lot of like wireless mics, and we'd bring stuff in, different audio equipment for bigger shows and stuff like that. So
Okay.
getting to kind of experience that still in high school, and kind of play with that, and then go out into the real world of pro audio, play with that even more.
So in high school, there's that program that the schools have where you can go and do like construction or audio or
Right, like half days and stuff.
Yeah, did you enroll in that?
I didn't. I ended up graduating early.
Right, and they don't let you do both at Rights.
Right. Because that's what like the next year I could have like essentially done my 3 classes I had that year, and then done career and tech center after that. And I really thought about it, and then they were like, "Hey, or you could graduate a year early," and I was like, "Yeah,
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah,
I can leave here, please."
It was
Thank
like
you.
3 classes over a year that I was gonna have to like, or maybe it was 4, so it was gonna be like 2 per
an English
semester.
and a math credit.
Yeah, it was
That was
like
it.
Tuesday and Thursday, and then the next week was like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I was like, "No, that's such a waste of time. Like, just get me out of here. Let me like, I'm not really." That could be a whole other podcast, but like the education system sucks.
Oh no, I agree 100%. But I do have to say, earlier you said I wasn't into sports. Obviously, now I have to make a statement. You have a very bold build about you. Just you look like somebody that might say I'm big bone. You know what I mean? Just broad shoulders. You know what I mean? You just have like an athlete body. So I wouldn't say obviously.
I don't mean obviously.
You look like you could have been an athlete. I'm just saying. I
appreciate that.
Yeah. So you like have like a let's get you in the gym kind of build. You know what I mean? So do you ever think have you ever been in the gym? Do you ever do anything like that?
I actually, I say my wife and I actually started after we got married last year.
Oh, sick! Congratulations, late congratulations, by the way.
Shout out to Tommy for taking our pictures and or our video and stuff.
Nice.
We actually did a podcast that morning.
Oh, really?
Sick.
I think we did.
We've been doing this for 3 years, bro.
Oh wow!
I've been drinking a lot of Busch Light and bourbon. A lot of inappropriate jokes.
So after that, we were just kind of like, all right, we need something to do.
How was Jamaica, by the way?
Oh, dude, it was fucking awesome.
Did you leave the reservation at all?
We did to go like on one of our excursions, but it like we got on a bus. They took us there. We got back on that bus and we went back. So
the
like, we
next
didn't walk
day,
or
I was like,
anything.
man, I hope I didn't scare him out of Jamaica when I was like, hey, just don't leave the reservation.
Oh no, no, it definitely like driving through like it's pretty.
It's
pretty
different.
rough.
I'm assuming you had like an armed guard with you with like a machete or like a machine gun or something.
I almost half expected that.
Not
but
the case.
No,
really, no firearm.
And it's honestly, it's really not.
Just a baton and some hopes and dreams. He's
Pretty
like,
much.
I'm gonna just protect these guys with my good wishes.
And really, it was our bus driver. Like our bus driver, I'm pretty sure our bus driver would have whooped some ass.
and he was probably stoned.
yeah, probably.
For sure he
Well,
was.
that's the thing. You get like you mentioned earlier, and this is kind of lead into that. Yeah. So you get straight off the plane, you walk out to the buses to where they're going to take you to your you separate out into wherever your resort is,
And they're selling trash bags of weed for like $15.
Kind of, sort of, not really. I paid a lot of money for it, but that's because it. I mean, it is pretty good stuff. But they also know that like you're a tourist. Like, what else are you going to do?
Yeah, give me your extra money.
Definitely not the same as like people are like, oh man, they're going to get you a trash bag of weed for like $10. Not the case. It's really good, but it's not like you're buying like an eighth for like $80.
Ouch.
Like
But you got to have it, you know?
But yeah, that's the thing. They know that where you're going to go.
Yeah.
So, and then after I'm like, yeah, man, let me get some weed. Let me, let's try it out. And then all of a sudden he's like, you need some, and I was like, whoa,
hey man,
Hey, man, gateway drugs only for now.
right.
You know?
I'm like, let's hang out. And then, later bought some, I tried that. And that was,
dude. So like, that's okay. Here we go. If you're on fucking honeymoon for like, and you're like, yeah, let's get a joint, let's spice some things up, let's have a good time. And some guy's like, hey, I got a joint, here you go. Hey man, do you want some fucking like, dude, I'm trying to spice it up. I'm not trying to ruin the next decade of my life.
Right. Not trying to, take this back home and like,
I'm not trying to go home with eyes sunk into my skull, fucking with fucking
I'm
needle.
not trying to go home and go to a rehab.
What are you doing?
Like, how was Jamaica? Oh man, it was cool, man. It was all right.
Hey man, how was Jamaica? And something's wrong with Bailey, man. I think he's doing.
That weed is really good over there.
He's conked out, dude. That's so fucking. Hey, you want some? That's fucking hilarious.
Oh, dude, and that's what there was actually one of my customers said the same thing. We were talking about it. I was like, yeah, man, we're going to Jamaica, and he was like, dude,
you gotta try it.
No, not even that. But he was like, when I got over there, and because he kind of got offended. The guy was like straight up like, hey man, you need some, and he was like, what do I look like? And he was like, I mean, weed. You need like offered him like everything.
That's like the one thing too that was like where we grow up. we've seen what can do. You know what
That's
I mean?
not a
But,
good
like,
connotation.
Like,
Dude, hats off to that guy, dude. Hats off to him for being a hell of a salesman.
Little Boosie Security came through Evansville a few years ago or whatever, because Little Boosie did a show here and everything. And they came in and they were like looking for something to hit like dabs off of in like a vape shop I was at or something. And they got hooked up or whatever. And then they're like, you know where we can find any like pills and stuff? And I was like, I mean, maybe like you trying to go up, down, around, like, you know, what's up? And I had like Klonopins at the time, and my buddy had Adderall, and they're like, we'll take them both. And we were like, okay. And then they're like, what's big around here? And we're like, there's not much to do around here unless you like to drink or do. And they were like, you guys can get. I was like, no, we cannot get you. But like, like, why do people like that aren't from like where they actually see
it's
it?
It's a delicacy.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like,
it's a delicacy.
In the industry that I'm in now, there was like a lot of back in the day, like crazy shit went on. Like there was all kinds of like it was a lot of like, you know, do a line of or like some, you know, hit a fucking bowl of and then go shove a radio in a dash and
or there people getting the radio and the subs put in or like, hey, I need a hideaway spot.
Either that or like, where do you think they get their money from? Like, it's
dude, this stereo is $7,000. Like,
here's cash.
Yeah,
like that's kind of
it's a little blood on the money.
It's your favorite customer, but it's kind of a red flag.
I heard a funny factoid that I think we've brought up on the podcast that the and don't be afraid to bring that microphone into you, man. Make friends with it. But I heard this fun fact about there is more on the $100 currency, the $100 bill, the Benjamin bill, than any other bill across the nation.
Is it the Benny or is it just
It's the Benjamin. Yeah. The Benjamin has like your highest likelihood of grabbing just a random Benjamin at like a store or something as cash or whatever, like change or from the bank, like that probably has on it. I forget. Do you remember what the stat was?
I don't remember what the stat was.
But you remember talking about that?
I sent you this week, or it was like they were passing around the not the communion jar, but whatever you throw your tithe in or whatever, your money. And this dude was like reaching in his pockets and he pulled out like 100 and unrolled it and a bunch of fell out or whatever. And he just kind of put it in there and wiped his shirt off. And
yeah, man.
Yeah, so it definitely hits the same with just a dollar bill. That's just,
but also, how sad of a day is that?
I mean,
dude, like if you're doing
as long as it's going up your nose, it doesn't matter, right? You know.
Actually, it's funny you say that. In Jamaica, their currency is like retarded. Like it's a dollar is like $10,000. Like it's that's not exact, but it's pretty damn close. Like it may actually be like
$1,000. You have $9, you're buying a villa.
Like if you hand somebody a $10 note or a $100 note, it's a $100 note. Is essentially it's less than $1. Like it's almost insulting. Like you should just hand like somebody 50 cents. It would be the same thing as handing them a $100 bill in the Jamaican currency.
That's wild to me. Jamaica is very, very, very not well off. Like they're not a third world country, but God.
They're third world.
Are they?
Oh yeah.
They're
it's bad.
100% third
I know
world.
it's bad. I just don't know how bad because I've never been.
Like that weed was $13,000 Jamaican currency.
Jesus, fucking.
It was like $100, $120 or whatever, but it was like $13,000.
So aside from, thanks for derailing this entire interview with the Jamaica thing. I really appreciate that. Okay, back to your timeline. So you're in high school and you're watching this drone get built by your buddy, and you help him do that, and you're also doing the theater thing, and you have this huge chance of exposure where you're getting like this super above like high speed tech gear that normal theater, thespians, if you will. I love that word, by the way. Thespians, by the way.
Had thespian lesbians.
Oh, dude. If you had a thespian lesby, dude.
Yeah.
A thesby lesby.
Yeah.
That's a hot
We had a couple
sitch.
of them.
That's a hot sitch.
You really can't be a lesbian without another lesbian. So
were they attractive?
No.
You're not even a little?
No.
Damn. But anyway, so like that being said, so after high school, what happens after high school? And also, did we say what high school you went? You went to Rites.
Went to Rites.
Yeah.
The best high school there is.
100%.
Yeah.
Go Panthers.
Yep.
Go Cats. We had a whole bit the other day about fucking UK fans.
Yeah.
And I said go Cats like 1,000 times, and fucking people in the comment section lost their fucking mind.
Yeah,
dude. They fucking lost
it's like watching your follower count just go down. But then also up at the same time, just like...
Yeah, dude, fucking Louisville fans immediately unsubscribed. But so after high school, where do you go? What happens after that?
Because you graduate early.
Yep, so I graduated early. I went to Vincennes.
VU. Shout out, dude.
The dirty V.
The
Shout out to the VU.
absolutely dirty, nasty V. Going to Vincennes.
Okay.
Went for welding. Honestly, it was
That's kind of hot.
I wanted to do some I wanted to do fabrication. Is honestly what it was, but it was so much more driven towards
Like auto
welding.
fabrication?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, building car frames and trailers and shit like that. And it was a lot more of here's how you weld pipe. And it was
That stuff.
it just sucked.
Stupid.
And so it just kind of it kind of burned me out on that, and then it kind of drove me back towards wanting to do theater and stuff.
Did you finish the welding thing?
I did a year, and I got you don't really get degrees in stuff like that.
You get a certification.
You get a certification.
So you did finish.
So I did finish, and then
so you're technically still able to weld.
Yeah, I just have to get recertified.
Oh, okay.
So I still know how. It still comes in handy every once in a while.
I have a good welding question, but I don't want to cut you off. So you were saying you got your certification, and then what happened?
You were getting pushed kind of back towards the theater
And
creative.
that's what I was actually going to go to VU and do more of the theater, and just kind of decided that I didn't really want to do that. And so I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew that it wasn't welding. I knew it kind of was theater. And then that's when I came back, and my previous tech director, like I said, owned an audio company. So ended up, hey, come work for me, help me move some cases and lug some lights and move speakers and heavy shit like that. And that's kind of where everything went past there. Was I started to do a lot more pro audio, a lot more concerts, and working for the IATSE, which is the Union Stagehands. So, not a lot of people know, but there is essentially a giant group of people that every time a concert comes to town, essentially the concerts all have their you get a national touring act, they have all their people, and it's a very
100%. It's 1, 2, 3, ABC.
It's very plug and play kind of deal.
Paint by colors. It's the same everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
But then you also have to have somebody at the facilities that knows where everything is and knows how to do all the tie lines and all the, knows the facilities.
And that's your IATSE.
IATSE. It's Indiana something theater.
Can we talk about how ridiculous of an acronym that is?
It is. It sounds ridiculous. Every time I say it, people go, what?
Do they know that it's ridiculous?
Oh man, they throw it around they're just IATSE's the word water.
Every time he says IATSE, I just picture Indiana with a Nazi swastika or something.
Jesus fucking Christ.
If all the Germans came together, it was maybe he wasn't wrong. Right. I don't know.
All the Germans that worked for a tech company came up with the acronym. Is what it sounds
Dude,
like.
honestly, a lot of Catholics and a lot of Germans around here.
There are.
That checks out.
West Side.
Okay, so welding question.
Yeah.
Before we get too deep into the Nazi stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Or IATSE?
IATSE. Yep.
Before we get into the Yahtzee stuff.
It's like Yahtzee, but then you playing Yahtzee, so it's IATSE.
If you were dumb and playing Yahtzee. Yahtzee. Okay,
Canadian.
So before we get into the Yahtzee, I want to ask I have a legitimate question about my house. So I have a cast iron true 1900 black fence out front of my home. You saw it. So that is cast true iron. Why is welding cast iron, that old iron, so much more difficult than any other metal?
So cast iron.
Also, where do I go to find someone that can weld iron?
They're dead.
You're on the west side. JP
they're dead.
They died.
Yeah, they're
Yeah, they died of the Spanish flu.
Yeah, it's and that's the thing. You got to find some old motherfucker that's just been doing it for a lot of years.
He's 119 years old.
Pretty much, yeah.
Ah, fuck. Okay.
But essentially, cast iron is just such a garbage metal that it's really great for cooking, but just structurally, it's just terrible. It's a fine grain.
I don't know if it's cast, but I do know that it is pure iron.
Yeah,
it's a 1900s pure iron, original fence.
Wrought iron or whatever.
Wrought iron or
so
whatever.
it was garbage metal back then, so it really wasn't ever. I don't know. Basically, what it comes down to is it has to be super fucking hot, and you can weld it. You truly can. There's a lot of people that.
Could you do it?
No, probably not.
$1,000. Could you do it?
Probably
For $1,000.
I would attempt it.
We're gonna have a conversation.
Okay.
Okay. So moving forward, let's get back to the Nazi hate speech stuff. No, I'm joking. Let's get back to the IATSE. So the IATSE.
So you join an IATSE.
So I joined the Nazis and.
So you signed up to help Kanye make his next album.
Dude, he got canceled so fucking hard.
I don't know if he necessarily even got canceled.
I don't know. Like, you can't cancel Kanye.
The internet just quit. They were just like, shut all his shit off.
They were like, oh my God, it's fucking Kanye, dude.
It's like the first person that heard it, they were like, did he say fuck?
Do you know juice? Sorry, is he thirsty?
Is this a rewrite of Gin and Juice?
I get this man some water. He doesn't like juice.
But so, less on that, more on you join the
hierarchy.
Yeah, whatever. You join
The hierarchy of audio.
So you join the IATSE, which is a ridiculous acronym, and I don't agree with it. But you join the IATSE. What happens from there? Like, do you start doing some of these bigger gigs at like maybe the Ford Center or like Robert Stadium or whatever? What time frame is this year wise ish? 2009, 2012.
No, I graduated in 14, so then this would be like. Actually, I lied. I came back and I worked at Starbucks. I forgot about that. Yeah,
Starbucks is fucking lit.
Sucked.
Oh, I fucking love Starbucks, dude. Dude, Starbucks gets me fucking going.
Oh, it gets me going too, but
not like that Jamaican.
Yeah.
Oh. It'll get you going though.
It'll get you going,
dude. I actually just recently bought an espresso maker. I will never go to Starbucks again.
That's good.
Yeah, dude, it's so great. Got to get you one.
Honestly, the Starbucks stuff, like it just over the time, like it was. I mean, it was at a time. Starbucks was a really good company. They
peaked.
Somewhat are. They definitely peaked.
They pike peaked.
Yeah.
That's a play on one of their names of coffees.
Yeah, it's one of their most basic. I
take pride in that. That's a shitty joke, but I take pride in it. Stand by it. Days Grimm approved. So
they started, like I said, they were a really good company. It just kind of got into like, go woke, go broke, but it just kind of went downhill. And it was after that whole like dude tried using the bathroom and somebody was like, "You didn't buy a coffee, get out of here."
Right. They were probably a part of the IATSE.
Yeah. I think they were the Nazis.
Yeah, they were part of the Gestapo. Yeah. So get out of my fucking bathroom.
Like after that, it just kind of all went downhill. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
They had a stint where they were getting in trouble for not sending coffee to American troops overseas, I think. They got like big backblast from it during that.
And the Hitler reincarnate actually used to work there.
Jesus.
Have you not seen that on the internet?
Christ.
This guy believes that he's Hitler reincarnated. He worked at Starbucks.
What a segue.
They fired him after he started posting his views.
I feel like he could really
TikTok.
bring the team together, though. I mean,
he's really...
Well, no, they're all about diversity, and he's probably not.
He's all about exclusivity.
Yeah.
Mostly blonde hair and blue eyes.
Yeah, he would only hire a certain type. It was really weird.
I don't know who you're talking about, though.
Just search Starbucks Hitler reincarnate.
How do you spell reincarnate?
Reincarnation, it's right there.
Yeah, that one. Let's see if we can find this guy.
Yep.
He looks ridiculous, dude.
I would love to punch that kid in the face. He's a very punchable face.
Is there anyone worse?
Which, I mean, look at Hitler. He had a very punchable face, too.
He did. Dude, is there anyone... Okay, but all jokes aside, like, if you legitimately think that your race or ethnicity or geographic, like, disposition is better than one another's, like, better than a said person's or groups or whatever, go fuck yourself. Like, I mean, literally, go outside, take a lead pipe, and fuck yourself in the ass. Because, honest to God, we're all the same, dude. We're literally all the same. Like, we are all the exact fucking same. Like... Fuck this guy, dude. I'll burn your fucking house down. I fucking stand by that, too. Days Grimm approved, dude. He legitimately thought he was Hitler reincarnate?
Yeah.
Like, he thought he was... Is this a he, even?
Yeah.
I don't even know,
I'm pretty
dude.
sure it's a he.
Does he
Fuck
even know?
this person, dude.
I made a new nose ring.
Yeah, that look like the mustache because he can't grow facial hair.
Dude, honestly, that's probably why he grew that mustache. And then secondly, this person listens to, like, a lot of Fish. And we all know somebody that listens to Fish.
Yeah.
And fuck that person.
Yeah.
So you're working with the IATSE. So you're working with the IATSE and you're setting up these places locally. Are you working for the IATSE when your friend approaches you about making some drones on the side, or
that was actually after drones? Drones kind of went
in and out, and
like I said, it was kind of after high school and everything. There's all my there's one of my proudest moments. You want to pull up that one of me laying on the floor in a puddle of my own puke?
Oh, that's hot.
Oh yeah, no, that's also somebody taking a piss while I'm laying there.
Damn. Okay. All right.
yeah.
Transitioning.
Yeah,
Rough times.
that was
But anyways, sorry, not trying to distract you.
So anyway, the drone stuff was kind of like right after high school, and we did quite a bit with that. We were really pushing for having it into a lot of STEM schools, science, technology,
Explain that.
engineering,
What's
mathematics.
Oh, that's what that is. Okay.
Yeah, so like Helfrich is a STEM academy. They focus a lot more on the
technical
technical side. Like I said, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. It's not necessarily English and everything's important, but it's not really it's not really what's driving the
ask
technology
somebody in
side of the world.
Kentucky if it's important, because it's not.
It's not.
And you live there.
It's not. Yeah, no, it's
They don't have shoes and they don't read good.
yeah, no, it's
Been putting that out there for like 5 weeks in a row now, and I stand by it.
they don't read well.
Yeah, they don't read good. I'm so close to Kentucky. It's like rubbing
That's
off on
honestly that's why I actually kind of like as close as I can get to the west side. Kentucky is right there.
Do you think that in the drone world that they're going to come out with or even in the technology world? So like when I was in Indianapolis and I was in the engineering program they had up there, we did these low-end RC cars that ran on they took solar power into water and made water bubble, and that made a form of power or whatever. But do you think that they're going to come out with some drones that the battery life is always constantly improving every year on these, but do you think they're going to add some sort of I feel like a lot of radio frequency stuff has the capability to implement some sort of renewable energy aspect. I mean, you're not going to be able to run it completely on it, but you might be able to run it 5 extra minutes or something by some sort of...
So, okay. Were you asking a question?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So I'm going to make a statement. Speaking of you're into the sciencey world, tech world stuff, and I'm assuming, have you heard the most recent news about the molecular fission? Big deal right now.
We're talking about
there was a breakthrough
superconductor thing in China that they made a false sun.
In China. It wasn't in China. These are European and American physicists that have successfully.
Oh yeah,
they successfully created on a very microscopic, small scale level nuclear fission. Nuclear fission is the alternate to nuclear fusion. Now, there's a really high chance that I have this fucking ass backwards because I get fusion and fission mixed up. I don't remember which one. I think we're currently all the nuclear reactors now are fusion.
Yes.
That is something we've been doing for 60 years.
Yeah, fusion is when you take two and you slam them together, and then
fission
you take that,
is when you create a fissure and tear them apart.
Yeah.
I just don't remember which one we've been doing for the last 60 years. Shout out to Chernobyl. But what I'm getting at is they successfully took a molecule and created a fission, and now nuclear fission is a real thing. It's just now about upscaling it. That's interesting because we're talking unlimited energy, unlimited. Right. You could take a blade of grass and break that down to the molecular level and then do nuclear fission on it, and boom, free energy. Literally, doesn't that blow your mind?
In theory, that's what everything in your sci-fi movies run on, Star Wars and stuff like that.
Yeah, but isn't that fucking crazy, dude? This is happening and we're alive.
But they also have those nuclear subs that you talk about that run on fusion that have their nuclear core is going to allow them to run for 80 years. You know,
and they never
nuclear
refuel.
Is not everybody's so scared of it because
because
you just said Chernobyl.
Yeah,
I mean, you get all of these places that in our lifetime, I can count 3, and that's really I'm thinking of 2. I don't think
talking about meltdowns.
Yeah,
Japan.
To where it's been Japan
during that tsunami,
which honestly I don't think Chernobyl was in my lifetime.
Right,
I think
but there was another one that had an earthquake or something that
was Japan.
Okay,
that was a whole. It was a tsunami. It was an earthquake and then a tsunami, and then it crashed into the building.
Earthquake induced tsunami or typhoon.
So in all of that,
what's so scary about it?
Exactly.
There's so many nuclear reactors in America that people don't even know about. And it's there was another meltdown there too, 3 Mile Island. Shout out to that documentary on Netflix. Very fucking interesting.
And they shut some of them down. There was one outside of Nashville that they shut down.
But they shut it down just because people, they're not getting the funding because
everybody's scared of it.
It's fossil fuels or bust.
But yet everybody will complain about Centerpoint or Duke.
Yeah, no shit. It's just wild, man. I know that you're into that stuff, and I wanted to ask, it's pretty interesting, the things So you graduated in 2014, so you're a bit younger than me. So you're like late 20s? Late 20s?
27.
27. So you're like mid to late 20s. The things that are going to happen in our lives technologically, like it's just speeding up. And
Well, I mean,
it's
if you
insane.
look at like open chat, like what's your thoughts on AI?
Chat GPT.
Oh man, AI is one of those things that left unchecked. Like, I mean, you see all the movies where like, it sets off all of the nukes, or it burns the world down kind of thing.
Will Smith,
Like,
iRobot,
Yeah, like
Isaac Asimov.
there's definitely a side of that, and that's the thing. It's this weird catch-22 of people being like, it'd be really terrible if this happened, and like, let's see if we can make that happen. And it's like, what the fuck, guys?
What
Like,
is
why?
wrong with you?
No, like,
Or like, have you watched the new season of Mandalorian at all?
I am not. I
There's
got
like
one of the guys
a-
I work with is a huge Star Wars
Yeah.
Mandalorian fan. Every week he's like, "Man, did you see that episode?" I'm like, "Still no."
Still not watching
But
it.
they have a thing where like
Still no.
their societies, that like the people don't have to work in the city because they're droids. AI runs it all. And
Right.
so they were like, why don't you just shut off the droids? And they were like, our people wouldn't know what to do. They'd have to actually work.
Yeah, they're basically.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
People are
almost to
stupid.
that side
We're
of
going to handicap
society
ourselves
anyway.
We're going to handicap ourselves one day. Like,
I mean, if you took down the internet just for a
it's
day,
a scary day.
Yeah.
It's a scary day that right now in 2023, that if we're talking about major assaults on first world countries between one to another, like it's scary that an EMP is on nearly the same level as a nuclear bomb. Like it's not quite as bad, clearly, because people
you could
don't die
definitely,
instantly.
yeah, you could definitely do more
But
damage
if
with a nuke.
If you damage infrastructure so
Like I
bad
said,
that
if you
it
take down
takes-
the internet, I mean, think about it: no banking, no phone calls, no. I
and
mean,
who knows how to do it the old-fashioned way? Fucking nobody.
nobody. I mean, yeah, nobody knows how to do anything. Period.
You could melt a first world country with an EMP.
Yeah.
With an EMP bomb. It's a weird day that we're alive in, right?
And you wouldn't
now.
even have to
Hey,
target
Russia,
it.
please don't.
Right.
Yeah. Shout
Leave
out to
Texas
Russia.
alone.
No, dude, shout out to Rush, man. Because honestly, man, they're like our big cousin that like nobody really likes, and he always sits at the kids' table for Thanksgiving.
Chain
and it's,
smoking cigarettes.
and it's weird.
With a glass of vodka.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
in
weird.
his jumpsuit.
yeah.
He's 32 years old. It's like, and you're
And he wants
12.
to sit there. I don't get it.
He's been to prison ever since he was 12.
But you respect him in a weird way.
Yeah.
And that's where we should be at. But instead, we're like fucking checking him in the throat.
Yeah,
like,
this,
hey, bitch.
this might be a little controversial, but
It's
like,
going to be. Oh, buddy, it is.
Oh man,
we don't talk about Russia ever.
Russia's like maybe not doing anything wrong when it comes to Ukraine. Like,
Maybe not.
yeah, there's a whole
Depends on how you look at
Well,
it. But yeah.
and media here only shows you one side.
That's
true.
Media is
They-
tilted
it's-
in every country.
Yeah.
What's crazy is the media that's coming out from Eastern Bloc countries of Russian soldiers that we don't see in America, but of Russian soldiers that are like,
Yeah.
we're kind of doing this because we're being told to.
Yeah,
Like they
it's-
don't want to be there.
No, nobody does. Why would none of them give a shit about Ukraine being annexed? And they're like, dude, I want to go back to work, dude. Like, what the fuck? Like,
It's
I want to go
basically
home.
the Rhineland for the fucking, you know what I mean?
I think
For
they
Russia.
need to take a country like they did Australia and like find an island out there and take just the people that want to fight and like
all
let
the
them have
criminals
let
and
them have
drop 'em
like the
off.
Roman Colosseum for
Can
us
we
all
not
to
still do
watch,
that with
you know?
Australia? Is that
I don't
closed?
know, I don't
or
know
is
if that's
that...
on the table or not, honestly. I think that Russia is open to conversation.
And if we could just send our nukes to like Antarctica and warm up the atmosphere a little bit,
Yeah,
so we
drop
don't
them
have-
over the poles and
right. Don't have winter here anymore. That would be fantastic.
That'd be tight, dude. Yeah, fuck the damn polar bears, dude. They're trash anyways.
And we can just bring them back with genetics. We're bringing back the woolly mammoth.
You see that woolly mammoth meatball? That's
Oh, I
fucking
did.
hot.
It's fucking gross.
That's fucking hot. I eat the shit out of that meatball 9 times out of
Well,
9.
That's a perfect example of when I'm like, we,
Hey, man,
we
wouldn't it
find
be
this
cool?
thing. Yeah, you know what would be a horrible idea? Like, did nobody see Jurassic Park?
right?
What? Don't look at that and go, well, let's see if we could do. I could do it better. I think that's what it is.
But I mean, if you bring back one T-Rex and you kill it, how many people can you
Yeah.
feed with that T-Rex? You know,
Yeah,
Like-
just one.
a lot
I'm
of
sure. Yeah, that's what the history of every government is. It's just one. We'll
Right.
start with one.
It's
They're
just,
very
it's just one sheep. You know.
yeah.
Yeah, and then somehow they shit out a baby because they found out how to self-procreate or something. And it's like, well, now it's Jurassic Park fucking 9 or whatever movie number
Technology's
they're on.
nuts though. Like just how fast it's moving.
How do you see this in getting back to the interview? But like, how do you see technology, the way that it's expanding at like this exponential speed, like in your everyday? How are you seeing this? Like, do you see that like you're putting in this receiver or whatever, and this receiver is like 2023 came out in February?
Well, that's another thing too. Is like, so like I walked into Dr. Dashboard. No, but like this is
So anyway, about Jamaica.
Yeah.
I walked into Dr. Dashboard and like all the subs look completely different than what they did in high school when we were all into subs. I mean, yeah, they're still round, but you know what I mean? Like the coils and everything, like they're
Do you
all...
see it though? Like this change, this
absolutely.
exponential gain in
Now,
technology?
we have hit
And
a
if so,
little
how
bit.
do you see it?
We've hit a little bit of a wall as far
plateau,
as
maybe?
Yeah, as far as what your radio is going to be capable of. Like we got Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, in which you've got your maps, you've got all your Spotify, all the cool shit from your phone is on your radio.
Like instantaneously.
Right
there.
Like it's anything that any of these new cars, like if a car was built today, like it's going to come out with the exact same thing. So there's kind of this plateau of technology that there's not really much further. Like the next step from here is having like holograms in your fucking dash. Like,
What do you, that was going to be my follow-up question. What do you
Jarvis
think?
in your car?
What do you
Pretty
think?
much.
What do you think?
we can do that. I mean, you have like Hey Google, and you have
Right.
like, I mean, it's just
So, but my follow-up question is, I guess, like, there is something coming next. And are you good on ice over there?
oh yeah, I'm good.
There is something coming next. So, like, what is that thing? Do you think? What do
Like
you
I said,
think it'll be?
it's gonna have to be some kind of different display. It can't like your radio can't really do much for you other than if it's gonna like jerk you off. Like there's
be
not
hot.
Are they working on that, or
shout out to Elon Musk. I think we can do better with the Teslas, man. I think that could be a feature.
dude,
The
just a nice
Tesla
handy
pussy.
Yeah.
Tesla pussy.
Like how hard is it? Robotic arm, and I mean
Just mouth hug my wiener a little.
they
bit.
just don't want to do it. That's what it is.
They're honestly being a little stingy. God bless you.
You're like,
Need a little stingy
drive,
technology.
drive me to the grocery store and jerk me off, okay?
Is that so much to ask for?
It's not that much, man.
don't
Did you
think
know
it
his
is.
Teslas dance? Did you know this? They have a dance mode. So if
Really?
you buy like the most recent software, this is like years ago that he came out with.
Is it
but
with the suspension and everything like that?
It not only is the suspension will change as though it's dancing, like the car will physically dance
Right.
stationary, but then it also will like do a
Move, like,
movement,
yeah.
like it is physically like fucking
They got all
fucking
kinds of
salsa
different modes.
dancing.
I saw one the other day. It wasn't a Tesla, but it's some
The
other.
Lucid?
It wasn't Lucid either, but it was. I want to say it was out of Taiwan or
Okay.
somewhere.
Shout out to the Thai folks, man. Fuck
And-
China.
Taiwan forever, and
They are a country, dude.
they are 100% a country. Fuck China. China is asshole.
Hashtag free Palestine while we're throwing shit out.
All these countries that are
Free
being
TK.
invaded. Yeah, dude. Fucking free Kanye. No, but yeah, it's crazy that we're at this weird like epitome of like technological fucking.
Well, and it's cool to look at how like,
the rate of speed that technology is coming out is just like too much to keep up with.
or like I saw it was a photo and it was like what the human can see versus like what the Tesla car can see, and it like showed like infrared like on a
Right.
foggy day or whatever, like that stuff is insane. But like what kind of technology improvements do you think there's been in the audio world via subs or car systems since we were in high school?
Filtering.
Really?
That's
is
what
it?
it's not
Can you
even like.
explain that?
So back in the day, it was how do you get 12 volts from point A to point B? Like 12
Lot of
volts to how many
capacitors.
watts?
Mm-hmm.
And like just make it fucking pound. Like that was that's all you had to do was make noise. And if you made the loudest noise, you were the coolest person. Like nobody cared how it sounded.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of that. Like there was a side of that, but people were paying thousands of dollars. And I'm talking like $10,000, $20,000 in the 90s for SQ sound quality systems.
Yeah.
Versus these people that are, just slamming shit in the car and making it really fucking loud. So a lot of that has changed. It's not about how loud you can be anymore, but it's about how good it can sound while loud.
But they used to do sound competitions back in the day where they had like the two different parts you could enter in, where you were talking about
Yeah.
like the loudest
You had SQ
versus
and
the
SPL.
quality. Yeah.
Was the competition to see whose license plate could fall off first?
No, I think it's who could shatter their
Does that
windshield.
annoy you when you're okay?
Yes.
So I got to bring this out. I got to just fucking come out. I'm coming out live on air. Coming out. I love a good sound system because I love fucking music. I fucking love music. I'm a huge music guy.
Preaching to the choir.
Exact music, like anything, rock and roll, rap, hippy dippy, experimental folk. I love fucking everything, instrumental, top to bottom. It's an art that's hard to create. But that being said, I fucking grind my teeth when I'm fucking downtown. I'm like running, or I just happen to be standing there and a guy drives by, and his sound system is so loud. Like, everything is rattling. Yeah. Everything is rattling. Like, I get it. I can hear you 9 city blocks away, but what I'm hearing now with you in front of me is your license plate hanging on by hopes and dreams and one bolt.
The best part...
Did you hear me pull up? Like, did you hear my sound system when I pulled up?
Not necessarily, not particularly.
Exactly.
I wasn't paying attention. If I didn't want to like.
I think it is
you.
cool though to like back in the day I had a sound system where you could drive through Walmart and set car alarms off. Like that was fun.
That's tight.
Oh, I just yesterday had one leave out that was one of the new Ford Broncos. We put 2 of the big Rockford 15s in the back of it and built a giant box.
I'm a big Rockford guy.
Oh, dude, it was so loud it hurt. Like it was definitely to the point where like you turn it up so far, and he said, "I don't want the neighbors to hear me. I want the neighborhood to hear me." And we definitely
achieved that.
But it also, like you were talking about, it doesn't sound like a box Chevy. It's not, license plate and every fender rattling. And I've also had customers come in and they go, "Can you make it sound like that?" I'm like, no.
Okay, so honestly, guy walks into your store and he's like, you're saying, basically, from what you just said, a guy has come into your store and be like, "Hey, man, I want to turn my sound system up so loud and I want it to be so rowdy that people think that there's an active shooter in the neighborhood."
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, is that a machine gun or is this dude just an asshole?
Right.
It's the latter.
It's the latter, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, like I said, dude literally asked us if we could
that,
loosen up like his license plate, if we could like loosen up some of the bolts on like the body parts on his car, and we're like, no,
we're not going to deconstruct your vehicle.
Yeah, just so that it's louder. Like,
can you take a tire off for me?
Do you guys ever close shop and just play everything in the shop?
I mean, we don't even have to close shop for that. Like we do. Granted, we don't play like everything, but like we do have our main display that has all of our subs and everything. And if there's a song, like if I'm on my way to work and there's a song that I'm like, damn, this sounds really good.
It's aggressive, yeah.
I'll go to work and I'll be like, "Hey guys, check this out," and I will crank it to 30 and let it like my water bottle is dancing across my desk across the room.
That's hot.
I think that's hot as well. First off, I have to say that up front. But then I also think that there comes a limit to where like you can ride in a vehicle and like enjoy the music with it. So like what I'm getting at is like, okay, so the premise of this question is hearing damage. That's a thing. You're in a very small box with a very large sound system.
Sure.
What's your take on that as far as like the youth? Because a lot of these guys are like 20 or younger, and they've been driving for like 9 days or something. Like they know to stay between the white and the yellow, and that's about it.
Right. And the first thing they want is subs, and they want all the sound system.
They want
stuff
a lift kit and subs. That's all they really care about.
Their oil light's been on for 6 months.
Yeah,
just crying.
But they
just
want
like,
subs.
Please change my for $100. Change your oil. $100. Go change your oil. No. I'm going to spend $3,000 on this sound system. What do you think about
all the time? So, I mean,
do you have like a word to those kids that you would want to say, or is there
spend more money and get a better sound system, because that cheap garbage will, when you won't be able to hear later. Well, and that kind of segues back into, not me to cut you off, but like segues back into what we were talking about as far as like the quality of what it was back in the day versus like, like I said, back then it was make it loud. Who cares what it sounds like? Now it's more of a sound quality thing. And it's
with it being loud.
Well, right. And nowadays I feel like subs have those like adaptions to where you can run stuff in series, or like, whereas back in the
dual voice
day,
coil and stuff.
Yeah, like back in the day it was just single and you had to like run everything yourself across everything. And then they don't really use capacitors much anymore, do they?
Now it's a hybrid capacitor, which what the fuck that means, I don't know, but it's digital, and that's actually I just put one in that Bronco. So like in a way, yes, but not the standard big capacitor. Yeah, the big tube thing that was it was halfway full of concrete and had a little capacitor like dug down in it.
Looked like an IED.
Yeah. I say we don't really do those anymore. But like I said, the hybrid capacitors and stuff. And like I said, there's also this. Things are made so cheaply anymore that you can get into a lot of the car audio world very cheaply. But with that cheapness comes, they take out all the filters and shit. I mean, that's what. So you can get into a lot more of that hearing damage and stuff if, you know, like I said, the consumer market is pushed towards, hey, man, this is really fucking loud.
Yeah.
And it's really fucking loud because it's a ton of distortion, and that's what tears up your ears. So it's the youth is being pushed more towards all of this Chinese garbage that comes from overseas that is just meant to be loud.
And I think that's also another thing that people don't necessarily realize is in the audio world, you pay for what you get for.
That's true.
And I've built systems for people before where they're like, dude, I want it to sound really good. And I'm like, cool, I can do that.
$3,000.
100%. $3,000. And they get in and they go, well, it's not that loud.
But you didn't
You
say
didn't
that.
say loud.
Yeah.
But that's what everybody relates loud
To quality.
with the pain in your ears.
Yeah.
That's what, and you shouldn't, the pain in your ears is distortion.
That's bad.
It's bad. It's very bad.
Yeah.
You should never have that.
Yeah.
So, and I've done systems, like I said, with that.
tinnitus.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like ringing all the time. But that's what, in that Bronco, like I said, it was super loud, and you'd go to say to the person next to you, wow, that doesn't sound like that's that loud. And then you can't hear yourself think, but it's not bleeding your ears.
Right.
So so speaking of IEDs, so back to Asia and China, did you guys see a big issue during the chip shortage and all that stuff?
God, that's like
how bad did
Vietnam memories.
How bad did that wreck you guys?
It was pretty rough.
And then what did you do to work around? Just like mass order and
Getting
cross your
anything and
fingers?
everything. Luckily, we do both direct with our vendors, and then we also have distribution centers, like distribution companies, and then we also are direct with vendors, and we can get from both most of the time. So that kind of helped, because a lot of those distribution companies will buy in bulk where we can't. They can buy several thousand of each product. We're limited on space. So we could still get from them. So there was some of that, but then there was also, we kind of had to expand out into, brands that we weren't as familiar with, and trying to have to learn all of that kind of stuff and figure out, basically how to combat that, how to still sell stuff. Because at that point, I mean, everybody had money. Everybody was, not going on vacations. They're not spending money on gas. They're not spending money on vacations.
They're getting that government cheese.
They're getting that government money,
Yeah.
which, I mean,
We all love.
yeah, we all were. I wasn't going to say no. I mean, I'll take free money.
I took that money.
But it's what, I mean, everybody was essentially, I mean, it's like, the meme, shut up, take my money. I mean, it was people almost literally throwing money at you to put in systems and stuff. And you're like, dude, I don't have anything on the shelf.
I don't have anything to put in.
Yeah, I literally, there were times where we had one radio. We had one radio in the entire store that sells radios. And it was like, people would be like, hey man, I'm looking for a radio. I'm like, here's the one.
This is what we got.
This is what you got. And they're
It's
like,
a
really? That's
95
it?
model.
And that was the thing. We had stuff. We may have had one, but Best Buy didn't have any, and the other local shops didn't have anything at all.
Has that curved? Or
Yes.
So so we've met the curve, and things have
Yes.
gotten better since.
Yeah, they started doing a lot of air freight, which
Good.
instead of bringing it over on the boats, because the boats were sitting out in the harbor for weeks on end,
and pirates.
and then shit was getting stolen. I mean, it wasn't even getting it all the way over here.
yeah.
And so they started doing a lot of air freight, but that ends up driving up the price on everything. And I think they tried to stop the bleeding, essentially, because, again, everybody has money. Everybody's just spending money willy-nilly.
Yeah.
And there's not enough product to fill that. So then they just raise the price on everything to, A, cover that air freight, but then also to kind of, like I said, stop the bleeding. Keep everybody from, like, if you want it, you're going to pay for it.
Yeah. Stop them from jumping onto it
And-
with fucking
yeah.
$1,000. Now it's $3,000.
Yeah.
Have you already installed car audio before you got your job at?
I had done my own.
Some
and
like home surgery type stuff.
Yeah, like
What,
nothing
is that like
that-
part of the job process where they're like, hey, here's all this stuff, wire this car?
Not really, but that was the thing. By
Like
the time
interview.
Yeah, right. They're like, here's a radio, put it in.
Here's some cable. It's 1/4 inch. Here's a radio. Here's my fucking Dodge Neon. Figure
Right.
it out.
Oh my God. No, I would instantly quit.
And everybody that drives a Dodge Neon has fucking $1,000 at minimum in their fucking car.
Oh yeah.
Dude, something about Dodge Neons. But anyways.
Yeah,
But they didn't like test you on it.
No, and I mean, like, my resume at that time, I mean, we've kind of been through most of it, but I mean, drones, the welding and stuff. I'm also an Eagle
Soldering,
Scout.
stuff
I mean,
like that.
I've done a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And had a lot of experience that
You can survive in the woods.
yeah, I can actually build my own shelter and rub two sticks together and make a fire.
Fuck yeah, dude.
It's one of those skills that we were talking about earlier when shit hits the fan and nobody knows how to do
going dark.
anything.
You're going
Yeah,
dark.
I'm gonna be out in the backyard like, what's up?
Yeah.
You guys want hot dogs?
Yeah. With my tent and my dog.
Yeah. But like I had all of these kind of skills and like doing the pro audio for so long. I mean, I've been doing audio for like 10 years. I mean, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
You're
all of that-
prolific at
Well,
it.
you got
Yeah.
the ear for it. You know how it should sound.
Right. And that's kind of the biggest part is just kind of knowing what everything's supposed to sound like
EQ.
and knowing that there's a difference. Like we were talking about earlier, knowing that there's a difference between loud and sounds good.
Yeah.
I mean, you can definitely get both, but
What do you think is cheaper? Like if I come to you and I have like
Loud.
$5,000, if I don't want just loud is cheaper?
yeah, loud is cheaper no matter what. Because you can do loud with Walmart equipment.
Really?
And I mean, and truthfully, I mean, you can make Walmart equipment sound good if you know what you're doing. I mean, it's
Going
it's
back to
the-
like the EQ thing, like you can
Right.
tune it and tweak it.
yeah. I mean, if you know,
Do you do that all from the actual radio twisty knobs? I feel like I'm playing with somebody's nipples right now, but
You're talking
You know
about
what I mean?
all in the
the
dash
display?
itself versus on
do you do
the
all
amp.
the yeah?
so it depends. If we're like on the average install that we do, 9 out of 10 times, it's through the radio.
Really?
Like
Okay.
we'll go in and we'll set like there's generally like preset EQs, which funny enough, jazz, no matter what you listen to, if you listen to rock, rap, hip hop, heavy metal, don't care what it is, put it on jazz, it sounds amazing.
I fuck with smooth jazz pretty hard.
I say that's for whatever reason that preset is the best. But like I said, that's typically the go through. Like, if I sell somebody a big expensive radio and some speakers, I'll go out there and I'll kind of go through that stuff just kind of real quick, just to kind of give it a little salt and pepper.
But you can also, but you were saying though, you can also like tune the physical speakers themselves.
You can tune the amp.
So like the Bronco
Or the
we
amp.
just did had a full DSP, which is digital sound processing.
Oh, neat.
So all of your time alignment, your EQs, your crossovers, all of that kind of stuff is done per channel, per speaker, per setup.
Nice.
So,
you
there
can
is an
level
instance,
it and
yeah.
you can.
There's
firm
times
it.
where we don't do anything on the amp, but plug it into a computer and type away and set everything up.
Wow, that's intense.
So
man.
that technology is moving.
So do you have? So you have a little bit of experience with like a digital audio workspace as well,
yeah,
of some sort. Basically, like kind of like what we're recording on right now. Like this wouldn't be alien to you.
we actually doing like pro audio and stuff. We had something called SAC. It was Sound Audio Console, and it was
That's a hot name.
yeah. It was like, hey, grab SAC.
Yeah. Get my sack.
Yeah, like luckily we didn't have an HR department, or that would have been a problem. But
That's good for you.
yeah, so
Hey, my customer sack needs refondling. If
Yeah.
you could,
Yeah. Hey man, come
hey,
touch
you
my
touched
sack.
my SAC.
Where's my sack?
And so yeah, that was one of those things we got to use in high school. That was a professional level piece of equipment that, I mean, it was essentially no more than what you have there, other than like 36 more, or I don't actually know how many preamps you have, but it was like 60 preamps.
20, if you were curious.
So yeah, so we had like
plus
40 more. Yeah,
Yeah, 20 plus 4.
but other than that, that's essentially no more than what you have here for doing this.
That's intense, man.
Is
It made it
there
really easy.
a process? So, like, when a customer brings their car in, does one person do like the installation of wire and another person do the amp, or is it one person working on each car all the way through and another
Typically
person for
one
tuning?
person, unless it's a like big install, and then we'll put some people together and like, hey, help them out on this so we can get it done faster, or we can get it if like the box in the Bronco, I keep going back to the Bronco, but the box was like 100 something pounds, like it was a giant box, so
Yeah.
one guy is not going to put that in the back of that vehicle by himself. So there's times where we kind of throw two guys together, but typically you have a technician for the job. Like guy comes in, we schedule everything. Hey, it's going to be a 5-channel speaker, sub, and a radio.
So he knows what hardware he's dealing with.
Right. So we just kind of, and then we block out that for, whatever tech, for however long that job requires. And it's typically that one person that, works on that job.
Do you think that there would ever come a time that like you would become so prolific? Maybe I shouldn't ask this question. I'm going to, and you can choose not to answer. But do you think there will ever be a time that you've been doing car audio, let's say for like 20 years, and you're just like, hey man, I'm gonna do my own shit, and then go and start like, basically your own audio business? Now you don't have to answer that question, but I think that's a fun question to imagine. Have you ever taken time to even imagine it?
I've definitely thought of it, and kind of the cool thing about that is the company that I work for. isn't if I said, like, I could talk about that in my like day to day at work.
They don't care.
They would be like, great, that sounds awesome.
They would actually
what can I do
support
to
you.
help? Yeah. I say it's
Really?
and it would even be hey, you want to start another Dr. Dashboard store or, something like that. We've talked about, kind of moving to, we used to have shops all over. There used to be, North Carolina to here to Terre Haute to
Sick.
Owensboro. And there was like
People need
20
their
of
base,
them.
dude.
And and so it just kind of, as everybody left, they just kind of started a new store, which there wasn't really any like regulation on that. It was just people being like, you know what, I'm going to do my own thing.
Okay.
So I mean that has been done before, but like I said, we've talked about. My wife works in Owensboro, so I mean, starting another store in Owensboro, or somewhere in between there.
And don't feel bad about saying the word Owensboro incorrectly. Half the people that live there can't say it.
Yeah,
correctly,
like
so
we
it's
said,
fine.
English is not there.
But
I'm joking. Shout out to Owensboro.
Do people approach you guys for home audio?
We get that
that's a
every
good
once in a while.
question.
And
Home theaters?
honestly, it's one thing that I would like to do.
More of.
But that's
Really?
But you kind of run into that, like, you have to go to people's houses. Granted, if you sell it to the right market, it's, hey, I want to put in your $100,000 system. You're not going to do that in a two wide mobile trailer.
Well, buddy,
I mean, you might if you're balling like that, and you gotta
check it out, man. You barked up
double
the wrong
wide.
tree. Okay, I grew up in a double wide. Actually, jokes on you, it was a single wide.
do you have a $100,000 home
no,
audio system? Exactly.
Yeah, no, we didn't. So yeah, your point is valid. But I just want to make sure you weren't attacking my people.
No.
Okay.
Shout out to the trailer homes.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, modular homes and trailer homes, dude. We talked about it last week, man. They're very resilient people.
There was a guy that I worked with that had one that he was a very handy. I mean, like,
Yeah.
he took their double wide trailer and it had like granite countertops and hardwood floors, and I mean, it was like the nicest trailer that.
Also, fun fact for folks that do live in a trailer, if you're listening to this, you can actually steal power from the other trailer next to you. So if you just don't want to pay your electric bill, like, you can get away with that for a while.
Ask in the comments, and Brian can tell you exactly how.
I will refer you to Michael Farley's episode 65. But yeah, man, I think it's really cool that the home audio, man, like that would be like a neat facet, if you will, that isn't really being explored on a grandiose scale. Like, most of the time people are just buying a sound bar and like a sound system, and they're doing it themselves, and very poorly, might I add.
Right.
But like, they're doing it themselves. Like, if you can get it professionally done, like,
Well, even
there's-
someone like you that has audio, background, you know exactly where to put the speakers to get the best sound, of where the people would sit for the show. Whereas there's literally putting speakers right in front of them and getting
Right. And
Yeah,
just
dude.
like, oh yeah, it sounds good. And like, sure, it does sound good.
yeah, you
but,
paid $1,000 for these speakers. Sure, they sound good.
Yeah, but can you hear whenever, you're watching Guardians of the Galaxy and something flies behind you and over the top of you? Can you hear that? No.
Are you watching a scary movie and you can hear the footsteps behind
Yeah,
you? You
like-
know?
Also, if you're watching a video on, let's say, Pornhub, can you tell who is moaning and where they're at in the room?
Right.
No, you
Like,
can't. Yeah, you want that 3D panoramic sound experience, man. I
There's
feel like you have that to offer.
Yeah, there's a reason.
So, has there ever been like a car?
That's a weird transition. We're like, yeah, Pornhub, and also,
Hey, back in the day, we used to play Pornhub on the loudest car system and stroll through the parking lot. You get that bass? You know that?
that you want the slap, dude. You want a little bass in your slaps,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
It really helps me kind of get to the top of the ladder. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But Thomas, you were saying,
Helps
sorry.
keep you on rhythm.
No,
No,
100%. I
what I was
love a
gonna
good
say-
I hate to distract you.
yeah. While we're talking about dicks,
But I would say that like car audio, that's something a lot of people are spending most of their lives, not most of their lives, but a good chunk of their lives in their car.
Yeah.
So they should enjoy the audio in their car.
I get a lot of
commute.
people that are like, dude, I do nothing but spend, countless hours, like I said, I've had people spend,
no kidding.
thousands of dollars, we'll call it 10 grand on a system that they're like, I'm in this car all the time, driving from, state to state to state. I'm like, that makes 100% sense. Especially if you like music. There's people that can, take music, I don't really care. And there's other people that you get goosebumps whenever you listen to music.
Dude, I just thought about something. If you put a sound system in a double wide and it's got a gooseneck on it, technically still car audio.
It's still car audio.
I I think I just blew my own
Which
fucking
speakers
mind.
do you use? Do you do home audio or do you use car audio?
I don't know, dude.
Wouldn't be the first trailer we've done.
Leave it to the professionals.
But the nice part about that too is people that drive all over the country, like if they go to get a new car, they could technically pull up the Dr. Dashboard and say, hey, can you take the audio equipment out of this car and put it in this car?
A lot of people don't know that. They kind of look at it like, man, if I ever get rid of this thing, man, I'm wasting all this money. I'm like, why? We're going to throw all your old shit in a box.
Yeah.
Throw that on a shelf in the closet that you're never going to touch. And then when you get rid of this car in 2 or 3 years, bring it back. You can lease a car. Like you can lease a car, put all new speakers, subwoofer, as long as nothing's, cut up, which most cases it's not.
Yeah.
And then whenever your lease is up, you rip all the new shit out, put all your old shit back in, and you give it back. I mean, there's so much of what we do that's not like it used to be back in the day where, like I said, you had to cut up the dash and shove a radio in and make it look halfway decent, shove the speakers in the door and, stuff like that. It's
Correct.
it's all done.
They're all made at the factory for this stuff. So, fun fact, I was just thinking about this also. I think about how good our podcast would sound on a $3,000 or in that guy's Bronco. If you know that guy personally, I hope you tell him to listen to this episode in his Bronco. And then I need to take some notes on my EQ and kind of tighten some shit up.
I guarantee the bass would be off the charts.
Dude, I'm really interested. So if you're listening to us on like $1,000 or more speaker system in your car, please in the comments let us know. Bad, good, where are we at? Give us some cliff notes.
I think we got some good mid-range in there.
Yeah, man, there's a heavy mid with what we got rolling here. But so one thing that we do like to ask near the end of every interview, we do like to kind of wrap up on the fact that life's a journey, and then we all kind of choose these different paths and stuff. And car audio and doing the drone thing, like these are things that you care about greatly, and you've spent a lot of time, work, blood, sweat, and tears on. Through all of that, was there ever like a really, really dark moment that was like, you were just like, well, my cat died, so like now I'm not going to do car audio. That's a bad example, but you know what I mean? Like, have you ever had like a really dark moment in this journey, in either of those journeys? And then also what we care mostly about is what got you through that dark spot in this journey and what's kept you moving forward, because obviously today you're still doing both.
Yeah. So, I mean, really the biggest thing I can think of is essentially COVID. I mean, doing pro audio, doing concerts, there's kind of nothing worse than having a pandemic that makes it to where everybody can't gather in large spaces, like concerts. So that was kind of, well, I won't say that was the only thing I had going for me, but that was the thing that I really wanted to do. It's a lot of fun. I mean, I get to, set up a bunch of speakers and play with equipment, and it was more fun than it was a job.
Meet cool bands.
Yeah, you get to, and yeah, most 99% of every, artist out there that you get the shitty ones, but most of them out there are very down to earth, cool people.
Fucking Skid Row, folks like them.
David Allan Coe. I will throw that out there. David Allan Coe, if you are still alive, you old fuck, you are a fucking asshole.
We just talked about him like 2 weeks ago. I love David
He
Allan
is
Coe.
such a fucking asshole. I can tell you that firsthand. I've met him.
He's a good guy. We got to say he's a good guy. We have to for the show.
That I met him.
Can I tell you why he's a good guy?
Why is he a good guy?
We like to have multimedia artists of all kinds on the show. We take art very seriously. Thomas and I do, both creative minds, and we think a lot alike. We like creating things. That being said, David Allan Coe has a song called "The Ride." Are you familiar? So I'll set the story for you. So David Allan Coe is hitchhiking in this song, gets picked up by a truck driver.
Yes.
Truck driver and him start talking, and then at some point in the song, basically he said, "Thanks for the ride, Mister." And the truck driver says, "You don't have to call me Mister. The whole world calls me Hank." It was Hank Williams Jr. driving him the whole time. But in that dialogue that they share in the cab of the truck, at one point, Hank Williams asked David Allan Coe, he was like, "Do you really want to do music? And if so," and then I quote, "Can you make the folks feel what you feel inside?" And then that's the end of the line, and it goes to the next line.
Maybe he just felt like an asshole inside,
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, he wanted to make you feel like, man, am I an asshole? You know what I mean? But no, it's just him.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's a nice guy.
Okay.
So what pulled you through the...
I had to bring that up. So like David Allan Coe, shout out.
What pulled you through the COVID slump?
So I mean, during COVID and everything, the whole pro audio world kind of shut down. I mean, there was a lot of companies that luckily I didn't have any skin in the game. I mean, I don't own any equipment or anything like that.
Yeah.
So the people that I work for did. I mean, luckily, long story short, they were able to make it through that pretty easily. But there was a lot of companies out there that weren't as lucky, that essentially had to sell off all their equipment just to keep their company afloat.
Yeah.
So a lot of that stuff just kind of shut down and came to a screeching halt.
Got like subsidized and
Yeah. Luckily, I'm kind of looking around going, what the fuck am I going to do? Because there's no pro audio. What's close to pro audio? Car audio. So luckily, I just like shits and giggles. I'm like, I'm going to apply to Dr. Dashboard. We're going to see, it's as close as I can get, see how it goes. And initially they were just kind of like, yeah, no, your resume and everything kind of fits, with what we're doing, and you've got some experience. And it's kind of like everybody there is a very down to earth. Like, it's not we might be the most expensive shop in the city, and we might, people think that we're all, pretentious assholes, but it's really not. I mean, I don't hate anybody that I work with. I mean, everybody there is very solid.
I feel like that's the audio world almost, is like the audio, like the audio heads are pretty like laid back, chill.
Yeah,
like,
you don't have a whole lot of like controversy and drama and like anything like that in the audio side.
Like, they don't give a fuck about what Rush is doing.
Right, yeah. I say it's just, how loud can we make your stereo? It's pretty much,
for sure. They're like, dude, this bumps.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
That's chill.
That's a daily occurrence.
Yeah, just the group chats, the work chats, just all songs.
Yeah, pretty much.
So would you say that Dr. Dashboard was the ones that kind of helped you pull through this dark
I say
time?
I don't want to I say that essentially gave me something to focus all of that towards, and like,
and you kind of thrived when you got in there.
Yeah, I say it honestly. I'm doing more there, and I like doing the pro audio stuff more, doing the concerts and stuff like that. Because I mean, I essentially got paid to go to concerts and whatnot. But I say it's as close as I can get, and it's honestly I do better at that. I don't want to say just because I make more money, but I mean, it's allowed me to kind of do more, go to trainings, go to other places, see what, other people in the industry have to offer, and kind of seeing all those other opportunities. And
what advice would you have for somebody that's like an audio head, but they've not even dipped a toe into the game? Like someone who wants to do it, but like, where should they start? Like, what would be your first piece of advice? Like, hey man, would it be like, go to Ivy Tech and check this out, or go to VU or whatever?
Theater. I mean, like, I go to like USI's theater department is really good. I mean, there's a few things around here, civic theater. You've got the IATSE. I mean, there's all kinds of things that you can get into. And now I just keep thinking Nazi.
I know. I keep thinking. I was about to say the IATSE party's going strong.
IATSE, L'chaim.
Yeah.
Mazel tov. Dude, if you're a Jewish guy and you fucking rep IATSE, you're fucking crushing it, dude. Dude, you are fucking winning.
I don't think there's a whole lot of Jews in the IATSE. I don't know. They might just kind of like hear that and be scared.
Yeah,
and
they probably
hear IATSE and they're just like, no, I'm not taking that chance again.
Dude, I got a grandpa. He barely made it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Grandma told me some stories.
I wonder if Yahtzee's in a Jewish household or if it's too close.
Right? If that's too scary, like grandma will have a heart attack. You yell Yahtzee too loud.
They just hold the dice and their hand starts shaking. It's like, well, you got to drop them, grandma. You got to roll the dice.
The numbers line up to what's on.
Oh my god,
dude! If your grandparents have a slew of tattooed on their wrist and they are, times were really, really hard.
You should have asked them. You should honestly, like, all jokes aside, you should talk to them and
really,
stories. Listen to everything.
Oh, dude, those are such wise people, man. They really have a different grasp on life, much different than what we have. But that being said, you could have done anything else for the last couple hours today. So, like, for you to come in and sit down and chat with us, I greatly appreciate it. I know nothing about car audio, or at least I didn't leading into this. Now I know more both about the IATSE and car audio and drones, and like it's really, really interesting. Shout out to your friend who's fucking Elon Musk Jr. because that dude's a stud.
Shout out to Ryan Lorline.
Loreline, you're the man. But no, so we like to give you the last couple minutes, man. The last couple minutes is all for you. If you have an
upcoming event
coming up, if you have shout outs you want to give, if you have anything, man, it's all where can people reach you, stuff like that. So the last couple minutes, we'll outro on that, man. So what you got?
So I do have an event coming up in May. It is the 19th and 20th of May at the Owensboro Convention Center. It's called Jeeps and Jams. It's essentially going to be a Jeep conference. If you have a Jeep, bring it on down. They're trying to have the longest train of Jeeps. They literally call the Guinness Book of World Records. Trying to have,
and that's
the
a Friday
longest,
and a Saturday. Everybody,
it's a Friday and a Saturday.
May 19 and May 20.
Yep. So we're going to be down there for Dr. Dashboard. I will be down there both days. We're going to see, everybody's Jeeps, see what kind of ideas people have, share our ideas.
Did Dr. Dashboard make any rubber duckies for the event?
Did not.
That's like a trend in the Jeep community.
Nobody really said anything about it. That's honestly you saying that. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea.
It's not a bad idea. So get on that.
I don't know. I might be able to swing that.
Jeeps are harder to install audio systems in due to the air?
Easy.
Good God, no. We do 400 something Jeeps a year.
Wow.
Like most of my guys can do it with their eyes closed.
They're very open and easy to work with.
Yeah, they're super modular, and that's what like this. This whole event is everything coming together of lift kits and audio and any accessory that you can find for a Jeep, which there's everything.
It's gonna be a Jeep Palooza.
Yeah, Jeep stands for just empty every pocket. So I mean, that's come on down and find some stuff that you can't live without, and
go spend a couple grand at the Dr. Dash there, the DD.
Yeah.
And that's May 19th and May 20th.
May 19th and 20th coming up here very soon, very quickly.
Any other big events coming up?
No, that's about it. We are going to try to do some stuff at Dr. Dashboard. Try to do some old school, some sound competitions, and have some grilling out. Just kind of get some stuff back in the community, and kind of there's a little animosity in the audio world between the cheap guys and the expensive guys, and we just kind of want to bring everybody together and just kind of have the old parking lot parties that all of our parents and stuff talk about, and have a cruising green and all that kind of cool stuff.
Have a good old fashioned IATSE party.
Yeah.
And then shout outs and where can people reach you if they want to reach out to you, like, hey, I just want to thanks for the episode, thanks for all the information, or like, hey, I got a question about this, like, where can people get a hold of you, and then who do you want to give a shout out to?
I mean, honestly, like I said, shout out Ryan Lorline, like I said, my best friend. Shout out Dr. Dashboard, because don't know what I'd do without him. And yeah, I forgot what the other thing you said.
If they need audio questions.
Anybody wants to contact me, I am 9 to 6 Monday through Saturday, except for minus Thursdays. You can also find me at Instagram. Granted, I don't use any of that stuff, but Binky16. Like I said, I pretty much live at Dr. Dashboard most of the time. So if you have audio questions, you have stuff you want to put in, you want to get a big rockin' audio system in your Bronco, come see me.
Come get some Rockfords, dude.
Come get some Rockfords.
Come rock some Rockfords,
man. Some Rockfords.
Dude, Rockford fucking snaps dicks. They fucking shit on the game. But, dude, honestly, it kind of sounds like you shit on the game, too. You're crushing it. You're snapping dicks. You could have done anything for 2 hours, man. I really appreciate you coming in and sitting down.
Yeah, I had a great time. I appreciate you guys having me.
This has been another thrilling episode of the Days Grimm. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Brian Michael Day.
My name is Thomas Grimm.
This has been Bailey Benke, episode 121. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Shout out to the IATSEs.
Hi.